Okay. So this is my third attempt to get a concise but not too fast presentation for you all. I apologize, there's a lot of information, and I'm not the best educator, but we'll start from here and just tell you what we're doing. So right now we are launching our butterfly program a little bit more officially. We've worked out a lot of the bugs here, and this gives you a whole bunch of pictures to work your way through your first couple exams and uploads to ultralinq, or the process of getting signed off. So it should be fairly simple and fairly self-explanatory. This is also available in a PDF version if you don't have the time to sit and listen to me ramble. The last video took 40 minutes, so hopefully it's not that long. I'm going to try to keep it under 30 for this one here. So, all right, getting started, you're going to want to download this app to your phone. If you want to go through that process, I would suggest everyone at least download the app to their phone while watching this presentation so they can go through it with me. It'll make it a little bit easier to understand if you have the device in front of you. You can also use the BH1 iPad. Butterfly is absolutely in there and super easy to use on it. So if you do download it on your phone, the login is going to be ed@bhs.org, and the password is going to be butterfly1 with a capital B. So pretty simple there, and that'll log you right in. So Cliff Notes version of this PowerPoint, I have this at the end as well. So we sandwiched it in here. This should give you a basic checklist of the stuff that you need to do. I might add something in here I realized I missed, but for the most part, this will tell you everything you need to do to upload an exam, take an exam and upload an exam, and I'll give this as a PDF in Teams at some point probably as well. Just this little piece, so nice and super simple. We're going to go over all this in the next couple slides, and then we'll review it again at the end, but this again is the basic idea of what you need to do. So the first part we're going to go over after you've downloaded Butterfly, or once you have access to Butterfly and you've logged in with that ed@bhs.org, this is going to be the first screen that you see. This little piece right here is going to be highlighted, and it's going to be your archives. Archives is where you're going to access all the studies that are associated with the EMS folder. Now, if you were to dive in here and click that little piece right here or whatever and see all the folders, there's a whole bunch, I don't know, maybe like 10 or something. EMS is the one that we want to be on. EMS is going to be all of our CCT folders, okay? Got a message from my professor there. So these are all of our CCT exams, right? And so I took a little test one here, has Lauren Capril's name on it because she was kind enough to volunteer. This is what her radial artery looks like, and we'll go over that in just a bit. Now, this also below here, I switch it down so I didn't get any patient information, is going to have, again, every test that we've taken and downloaded to our EMS folder. Right now I think we have probably 30 or 40 on there. Hopefully it just blows up once you guys start using these, but this is where you're going to find all the studies once they have been saved. That's your archives here. And then we're going to go over, just so you guys know, this, and this in the next couple slides here. So the next piece we're going to go over, like I said, I'm preparing you guys for the best, is going to be the education piece. So this is, again, in the app on the bottom of the screen. You're going to see all of these. So archives, education, this is going to be your scan button. This is going to be your alerts and your profile buttons. But for now, we're just focusing here on education. So this is your education folder. It's going to bring up all these videos, and this folder is gold. You can click on any of these little folders or windows, whatever. It brings you into a bunch of videos, right? So we see cardiac has 47 videos with it, fast has 8 videos with it. They're very short, very easy to follow videos on how to use the device. So if you are done with me already, go to intro. Once you download the app, it'll teach you how to use the butterfly, no problem. The only thing you'd have to learn from me or from the PDF, if you don't want to listen to this, is just how to upload to ultralinq. So intro gives you all the info you need. And then if you're having issues with any exams, cardiac, they have all the cardiac exams that you'll need, how to place the probe. Same thing with fast, and the same thing down here with lung. Lung is going to be labeled pulmonary. And then down here, I think vascular is what it's labeled as, but vascular includes peripheral vascular access with butterfly. Whatever. Anyway, great piece, great resource. Definitely check it out. I would suggest doing basically all of these before you take any exams. It'll really help you with everything. If nothing else, skim through all of these, get an idea. Very, very good. Very, very good educational content. So the next button we'll talk about right here is scan. This is how you're actually going to take all your ultrasounds. We'll get into more depth in just a second because we're just going over all the buttons here right now. But scan will bring you to this screen. It'll give you a whole new set of buttons here, which again we'll go over in just a bit. But this is the screen you're going to go to take exams. What do we have here? To take exams, view your structures, right? So you're going to see everything on here. You're going to see your little heart and stuff. And this is where you're going to actually see everything. And then this is where you record it as well. And this is where you save it over in this area. But we'll go a little more detail in a second. The next piece is going to be alerts and profiles. I would just stay out of this area. Don't worry about it. These 3 buttons, really all you need. If your butterfly is acting up, you can plug it in. MyIQ does a diagnostics test, but I wouldn't know how to, interpret it. So you guys are more than welcome to just not even worry about these pages. If you do mess around in here, just try not to break it. All right, so actually taking an ultrasound, this is probably the part you guys really care about. You'll click on this scan button. It'll take you to this page. This page says plug in your ultrasound because it's really hard to take an ultrasound without a probe. Once you plug that in, it will give you access to these buttons. These buttons we'll go over right now. This one's going to be presets. It's going to allow you to change the type of ultrasound you're taking. This one is going to be freeze. It's going to allow you to take a still image of whatever picture you're taking. This one is record. This is going to be an active image. I don't know. That'll be vibration. That'll be our active image picture. And this one is actions. So actions is going to give you just a couple different options on what you're seeing here and a couple different options on just some things you can change with the exam. So pretty interesting little button to explore here and sort of help you get better exams, right? But first one, presets, we're going to go over. Presets is going to take you, once you click presets, it's going to take you to this area here, or this screen. It may or may not be on cardiac. It's on whatever the last exam was. You'll choose what type of exam you want. So if you're doing a cardiac exam, you'll click cardiac. If you're doing fast, you'll do fast. If you're doing lung, you'll do lung. I think vascular access is going to be down there if you scroll down. And those are really the 4 we're looking at. So times 4. Those are really the only ones you should really care about. If you want to play with them, obviously you're more than welcome, but those are the 4 that you need to know. So taking an ultrasound, recording, and stills, because I can still read. So I'm glad we all figured that out. These are the 2 buttons you're going to press once you actually want to take an ultrasound and record an ultrasound. This is going to freeze your image. So I guess still is probably the better word there. So this one's going to be a still. a still shot. This one is going to be recorded shot, right? So you'll click on those, it'll start or freeze your image, and it'll start recording, and we'll talk a little bit about that now is where we talk about it. So you'll press freeze, it'll take you to this screen. This screen will have this little blue snowflake, and then it'll give you the option for this camera here. So a couple things you can do here. This button, I just don't remember what that one does, but play with it whenever you get it. This button will take an image and freeze it, so you will or save it, sorry. So you'll freeze your image, so freeze over here. You'll see this screen, you'll click on this, and it will save that image now. Now, if you want to take any measurements or label at all, I believe you can just go right here, and that should be able to get a measurement in there for you. Or it's just a label. I can't remember right now. I thought I was an expert, didn't I? Anyway, we will freeze here, and then if you want to record, it's going to go this way. Recording, if you press this, it will start your recording, and then you will see this image here and this little countdown timer or count up timer, and then as this red thing goes around the button, just like a regular recording device, I will be recording, right? And whenever you press the stop button, it'll also go up here into this corner to be saved, and that's where you're going to access all of those saved but active images, or your active exams. So and we'll go over that in just a second. All right, so the next piece we'll talk about, which we briefly discussed, was actions. Actions is super cool. Little button. It's just going to allow you to make a couple changes to the presentation of the screen that you have. So you'll choose your presets, and then you'll be able to access actions for that preset. So if we're in vascular here, we can now access all the actions associated with vascular exams. So you can do a color Doppler to see blood flow. You can do M mode to see what would that be? Like pulsatility, you can see that, like pulsatility strength with M mode. Biplane will give you both a longitudinal and a transverse view for giving peripheral IVs, which is pretty cool. And then pulse Doppler, I haven't played with too much, to be totally honest. And then some other couple like really neat tools that you can play with. If you were to be in a cardiac or lung or fast presets, you would be able to see this thing called protocols here as well. Protocols. Not super important, but it'll guide you through your exams, basically. It's a pretty neat little feature, but if you look at those intro videos, you'll learn a lot more about all that. So that's basically actions for you. So from here, we've taken our exam, we've played with all these little buttons down here. Now we want to be able to see what we've done. So you can go up to this corner here. It is the active exams. This is going to be all the exams that are saved on phone, but not on the cloud. Not on the cloud. Right. Oh, wow. That looks awful. Cloud. Just in case that's a cloud. All right. So not on the cloud. This means that until you officially save them, they're not going to be found in the archives. They're not going to be uploaded to ultralinq. They're only going to be able to be viewed right here. Right. But that's where we want them for right now, because we still want to mess with them a little bit. So you're going to click on that. You're going to click on that little piece right here. It's going to bring you to this next screen, and then you're just going to put in all your patient information and label your studies. So you'll click on edit here, you'll put in name, date of birth, social security number, GPA, all that stuff, all the pertinent patient information, which we'll go over in a bit. And then over here in notes, you'll put in El Capril, or your username for ultralinq. You can also access your studies here and label them, put on some other stuff, and we'll go over that presently here. So when you are putting in patient information, you'll go to edit again. You will make sure you have the patient's name, the patient's sex, the patient's date of birth, and then the patient's ID number. So ID number is MRN number for base date specifically. The accession number doesn't really matter. If you're confused about which one of these to put the MRN in, you can put them in both, and that's totally fine. But it only has to be in patient ID. Cool. So the next piece that you need to fill out is notes, and we talked about this just a little bit. You'll put in your username for ultrasound, or username for ultralinq. The username for ultralinq. All right. Username for ultralinq is going to be what you have to put in there, and that will connect it with your ultralinq account. So I've been told. So make sure you put that one in there. You'll still have to do a couple things on ultralinq anyway, but make sure this is in here. So that's important. Patient information is important. The exam type is not important, nor all the worksheets, nor are the worksheets. These are all optional. So you're welcome to fill them out if you want to, but you don't have to because you're going to do that again on ultralinq anyway. So if you scroll down here, you're going to move to the second part of the page. Second part of the page is going to include these captures. Both of these captures, I guess. It's going to include all your captures, and then from here you're going to be able to select them, delete ones you don't want to keep, label ones you do want to keep, and make sure you're labeling all of your captures before you save them, right? All of them really should be labeled. So you'll click on your study. It'll bring you over to this page here. You'll click edit. Well, we'll talk a little bit. This page is just going to let you see what you've done, right? So if you took a little video here, this will be the video that you took, and you'll be able to access each individual ones. I believe you can move through them by swiping as well. But for now, we'll talk just a little bit more about actually labeling. To label, you're going to press edit. It's going to bring you to this screen, and then you will be able to label or delete. Right now, we'll talk about labeling. Deleting is fairly self-explanatory. Once you click on label, so you'll click label, it'll bring you to this screen here. You'll have to click this big A, little a, which will bring you to this screen here. You'll have access to type in whatever you want to type in here. There's a couple presets, like it'll say RT on bottom here in a little box. You can click on that and it'll pop it up here, or you can just free type whatever you want to type in. And then you'll press accept or enter, and it'll move you to your next screen. That next screen will show you whatever you typed in, and you're welcome to save here or exit out and put in something new. If you want to edit or add stuff, you can just press the little A's, play around with it. That's how you're going to be labeling from this screen. So now you've pressed saved, you've saved all your labels, so you've pressed save over here in the editing portion, and now you're back at this screen here, right? From here, you're done with labeling. You have all your patient information in, you have your notes in, you've labeled everything here. You're good to save your study. So you can press Save Study. It's going to bring you over to this page, which is giving you two options. So the first option, you can save as a draft. If you want to save as a draft, it's going to allow you to edit later, but it's going to send it over to archive. So once you confirm either save or sign, this will be, your study will disappear from this upper right-hand corner where there was the little number there. It'll disappear from there, but it'll move over to archives, right? And so that's that little folder over here. And you'll be able to access it. If it's saved as a draft, you can edit it. Once you sign it, it uploads to ultralinq. And so that's really what you're going to end up doing to get it signed off. So I would just save them. I would just save and sign them and send them off. I wouldn't hold too many drafts over in the archives, but it's an option if you'd like. So again, we've pressed confirm. It's going to send it over to this little folder over here. That folder, you'll be able to access this study that you just did, and you're going to look over here. This is that mysterious DICOM we've been talking about. It's going to say DICOM, and there's going to be a check next to it. Now, DICOM stands for... Just kidding. Nobody actually knows what DICOM stands for. DICOM is a big mystery. We don't know what it means, but we do know there has to be a check mark next to it. That check mark means that it is uploaded to ultralinq, and that's about as much as, well, that's as much as I care to know. If you guys want to look into it, you're welcome to. But that's the big thing you're going to do. So you will go to study, you'll take your study, you'll go edit all your study, label it, then save it. It'll hang out here in archives, and you'll check to see if it's uploaded to DICOM. Once you see that little check mark, you're good to go to ultralinq, and that's the next step we're going to go over here. So now you're going to go to a completely different website. You're going to go to ultralinq.com. You're going to log in with the username that here, these are specific directions I gave. You'll press login, it'll send you over here, you'll press this login again, and then it'll send you to the screen. So you'll put in the username that you received in an email. Should have been from Jeff, Dan, or myself, not totally sure, but or maybe Paul Gravando. I would just type in ultralinq into your email and see if you can find your username. If you just want to try it out with whatever, you can type in the first letter of your first name and then your last name, and the password should be that same username, 123, at least to start, and then you'll be able to change your password. So if we used Miss Lauren Caprill, here again as an example, you would have a lowercase l followed by a lowercase last name. The password would be the same, lowercase l, lowercase last name, and then 123, and that should be your password. If that doesn't work, you're going to troubleshoot with this next screen. So you'll type in all this stuff, and then you'll say, I forgot my password, right? Just like you get kicked out of Google or whatever, right? You'll put it in after 3 to 4 tries. That'll kick you out, so you've done too many attempts, and then you'll do that forgot password, forgot password. You know, just like normal. And then you'll password reset, right? So it's going to be the username that we gave you and the email that's associated with your work account, right? And then you'll press reset. It'll send it over to your work email, just like normal. You'll go through all the prompts that come out of that email, reset your password, and then wait for like at least 10 minutes. Because it takes a while. Usually I was waiting like an hour. If you're impatient, that's totally fine. 10 minutes should work. Who knows? Give it up to an hour though. That's always worked for me. So cool. And now you're logged into ultralinq. Now you've logged into ultralinq. The first page that you're going to see is this. It's going to extend a little bit. It's not quite that small, but this is where all the patient info is going to be, all the patient information, so we don't want to include that. This will be the first page you have. You're going to look for the patient that you've uploaded, so you're going to type in name, and you're welcome to do first name, last name, or last name, first name with a comma. That's either work just fine. Or you can do MRN number in here, right? And then it'll bring you to that exam. So we typed in our last name here, and we searched, and then it brought up our patient. And so we'll click on our patient here. If you have multiple patients, all with the same name, a good idea is just to check the exam date and check the upload time, just to double check. If it's multiple patients with the same name but different MRNs or different date of births, those are different patients. If you do put in your MRN and you still have multiple exams for the same patient, right, that's really where I would check to make sure these are yours, right? But whatever, worst case scenario, you click on it. So we click on it, click on that exam right here, click on it, and then it moves to the next page. You're going to see this, right? This is going to be all the exams that are associated with this patient. If they look like yours, you're in the right exam. So good to go. And then from here, we want to fill out a couple things. So you're going to click on Show Patient Exam Info, and it'll take you over to this next page. This page is going to have 3 little blue options in here, these 3 things. That should be blue, right? It's going to say Physician Sonographer, it's going to say Exam Type, and it's going to say Reviewer. All of those should have this blue area next to it. If it is not blue, that means you can't edit it, and therefore you're going to be unable to move forward from this part until they're blue and you can edit them. If they are blue, which they should be, they should all be blue because I just got them cleared, then what you're going to do is click on first Exam Type, and you're going to change it to whatever you did. So for this exam, it was a vascular exam, so I can just do peripheral IV placement. I'm just doing peripheral IV placement for this, right? And that's what you would click on. If this was a cardiac exam with like some lung sliding sign on there, then you could do cardiac and thoracic, and you'd make sure that this wasn't clicked, right? So basically what this does is it changes the exam type and then gives you access to the correct worksheet. So that's what's important here. So you'll change the exam type to what you want. So for us, make it a little cleaner here. So for us, we've picked peripheral vascular AV placement and then general ultrasound, just so I can type in some stuff, and then change the exam type, right? And then it'll mark right here. And if what I clicked on is right here, that means I've done well. The next part, so we've moved from this exam type over to worksheets. So it's a tab right here that I want to click on. Those worksheets are going to be worksheets specific to both general exam and peripheral IV placement, or whatever you've changed the exam type to, and you need to fill out those worksheets. Those worksheets connected to your exams are how you're getting signed off. So you need to fill out a worksheet, say what you saw, and yeah, just what you saw, actually. It's just interpretations here. So if you do peripheral IV placement, you're going to have a couple other things. I guess that's a whole different thing. Talk to me if you want to do peripheral IVs, and I'll make another presentation for those because it's a whole thing. But if you did cardiac, let's say, so we have cardiac here. Oh, geez. Cardiac. What we're going to see is a whole bunch of little click boxes in here. It's going to be like, is there RV strain? And you're going to say, like, it's going to be like, yes, no. And you'll be like, yes, there's RV strain. So you click on that. And then it'll say, is there greater than 50% IVC collapsibility, right? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. And then you'll say yes or no, right? And then from there, you're going to fill all that stuff out. You'll type in some descriptions if there's anything missing that you just want to communicate, and then you'll save the worksheet. And so once you save here, it's just going to change the worksheet in this tab over here, which is reports. I would encourage just looking around this whole program, but those are the big ones that you need to know about, right? Physician sonographer, exam type, reviewer, worksheet, report, attachment and stills, and then save worksheet, hide this stuff. This kind of all you really need to know here. So a little bit of a tangent there, I apologize. So filling out worksheets, you'll fill them out. The worksheets will be associated with whatever exam type that you had, and then you'll save your worksheets there. All right. So from worksheets, now you have a worksheets filled out. You have your exam type changed. The next thing you want to do is change this little blue box to you. So you're going to be the physician sonographer, and you need to be in here so that it's attached to you. So like I said here, congratulations, we're all doctors now. There's no nurse or paramedic sonographer, unfortunately. So yay, we're all doctors. And that's what you're going to change. So make sure that is associated with you. You change that there. to you, and then put change sonographer, and then it'll be associated with you. At this point, it's a good idea to go to report here, which we talked about just a bit ago, and just make sure everything's correct. So report will show you worksheet, it'll show you who the physician sonographer is, it'll show you what the exam type is. Just sort of review all that and make sure that it's all actually changed. If not, just go back, try to change it again. And then if you run into issues, give me a call, and I'm happy to try and walk you through it, or call somebody who knows what they're doing. Cool. So that's all you need to do. Cool. You've taken your exam, so you've done your, I was going to say BF for butterfly, but we have fancy, we can say IQ. You've done your IQ exam, you've done your ultralinq exam, or your ultralinq worksheets, right? You've done your exam type, physician sonographer, and your worksheets. You've checked to make sure it's all correct in reports, and now you can send it off, right? And so to send it off, you're going to go over to reviewer and click on the blue piece, and then you're going to send it over to reviewer EMS and Jeff Dan, and that's how you're going to do it. So what is that? Step 2. I don't know what I was trying to put there. And then, yeah, you'll send it off. And that's it. You're done, and you're ready to go. You can exit out, and that'll get reviewed. The last piece is going to be confirmation that your study was reviewed by a physician. They'll send you an email, say, hey, it looks good. If you're not getting that email, you can go back to that exam and then go to reports again after like a week or so, and see at the bottom if it has been reviewed and it meets the criteria, if there's any comments on there. But that's a job for later. Right now, this is the basics of how to take an exam, upload to ultralinq. So we'll just review a little bit here. You're going to open the Butterfly app and attach your IQ. That's going to be the Butterfly probe itself. You'll pick a presets for the exam. So let's say it's cardiac. You're going to record the video for your parasternal long access that you take, right? Maybe take a picture in stills. From there, everything's going to be saved up in the right-hand corner there. Say we've taken 3 pictures. You're going to click on this. It's going to bring you to the review screen where you'll plug in the patient's name, sex, MRN, and date of birth. You'll put in your ultralinq username in notes, whatever it ends up being, and then you'll click on all your little exams and you'll label what they are. At this point, you can save those labels, and then at the bottom of that review screen in these active exams, you will save and sign your exam, and then you will go back to archives, right? Back to archives. I guess it actually looks like this. I was doing it the wrong way. Whatever. So back to archives, and make sure that DICOM, the little box next to DICOM, is checked, and your exam is there with your patient information, right? And that is Butterfly. Once that DICOM box is checked, you're uploaded to ultralinq. So from here, you want to log on to ultralinq, look up your patient, change the exam type, fill out the worksheets, also change the physician sonographer to you, and then you want to refer this exam to reviewer EMS and to Dr. Jeff Dan. From there, you just wait around. At some point, there'll be an email. If you're not getting an email, check your patient exam, and then go to reports. And that should give you an idea of if it's been seen or not, right? And that's about it. Any issues, give me a call. Give Bob Grant a call. He's also very involved in this as well. And then if none of that is working, we will send you over to ultralinq support, because probably ultralinq's where you're going to come into issues. The biggest issue that almost everyone's going to run into if you use a personal device is going to be registering your personal device. So if you want to use your cell phone, you have to register it with ultralinq. So you're going to take a study with our Butterfly, and then you'll sign it, you'll save it, just like we talked about. And then from there, it's not going to upload to ultralinq. DICOM will say, so DICOM, whatever DICOM is, it'll have a check next to it, which means it's uploaded towards ultralinq, but you won't be able to see it because your device isn't registered. So it'll be uploaded to ultralinq. DICOM will have a check next to it, but you won't be able to see it on ultralinq when you log in and look up your patient. It's just not going to be there. So what you need to do is email ultralinq tech support or submit a ticket on the ultralinq website. Now this ticket's going to include your MRN, dates of upload, and request to register the device that the thing was uploaded on, the study was uploaded on, right? Anyway, basically I'm trying to say what I just said, so you're good to go. If you want to give them an email, this is going to be the email that you send it to. Or if you go on to ultralinq, you can click on Contact Us. It'll send you to this page. I think this is easier. You'll put in your name. You'll put in your email that's connected with your account. You'll put in your phone number. You'll say the subject, I want to register a new device. And then you'll say, hey, I want to register a new device. However you want to say it. And then you will put in your MRN for your patient and the date it was uploaded. And that should be good to go. And then, of course, you want to press submit. And that should be good to go. And that's the end of what I have for you today. Hopefully it wasn't too long. If you have any questions, again, give me a holler. And that should be